Reading this conversation in progress. Yes, Christopher tells you good night. I am the newest, but it has been around 2 years.
He's a podcaster that isn't a Noel or a Len.
Mars Comics says, how could you forget Brian's name? He's the second best co-host after Lem. Lem's not
That's
here
fair.
anymore.
It's super fair. So that means you're
The second best.
Then you're the official second best.
Yeah.
Without
exactly.
a Len.
Not that competition around.
Well, because
which of you two is the best, though? That's the question.
Len wasn't. I assume JD is like premier, right?
You'd have to ask Mars Comics.
To be fair, there are no co-hosts. I'm the host,
Right.
and then everyone else is a guest.
We're guests.
Oh, that's right.
You're all
Thank
expendable
you
except
for
for me.
joining Spoiler Alert, CultPop Podcast, coming to you live from 47th
So wait, hold on. Does that different rules then as to who's the best guest?
Yes.
Is Len
Oh, yeah.
Len was
I think-
the first best guest.
He's just saying I'm the second best co-host after Len in a general sense, not that I'm
There's
the
no such thing as
co-host
co-host.
of
I
this
thought we were
show.
over this. I do have trouble
What's
with
up to all our
their
sidekicks and
definitions.
henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? You're currently tuning into the CultPop Podcast live stream, aka Spoiler Alert, where episode 761. We're going to review this past week's comics. We're going to talk about some fun pop culture topics for your listening and viewing pleasure. I'm your host, Johnny Destructo of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA, a super duper radical shop which caters to nerdy and nerd adjacent individuals like yourselves.
Ooh.
Joining me tonight are my guests, Brian Lieb.
Oh, thank you for having me, JD.
Oh, I'll have you.
Ooh.
Oh, for dinner?
And Noel.
You'll have me
Sup?
and Noel?
Yeah.
Sup?
Anyway, thank you for joining us live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If you like what we're doing here, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. The joy of doing this live is you guys hanging out in the chat and talking to us. So do that. I have a burp, and then we have letters.
We have letters?
And a burp.
Yeah, we got one letter.
We have one letter.
Is it enough for a whole segment so I could do the little scrolly?
Yeah, do a scroll.
Hey, letters.
This email is called Movie Reviews.
Oh.
And it's from Christopher St. Saucy. Good night. Christopher, just a word. I noticed that you guys were all chatting before the show began. And you don't know Brian's...
Forgot it, right?
I take no
Unbelievable.
offense, Christopher St. Saucy.
I
Good
do.
night, but
I
I
take
am
offense.
surprised. I am surprised.
I don't remember anyone's name ever.
But it's
so
you don't see it written directly below them on a weekly basis, I assume.
That's actually true.
Yeah.
Context, yeah.
We all literally have... Oh, wait, they're not showing right now.
Yeah, that is weird.
Oh, it's
Really
'cause all the-
Our names
takes
aren't...
me out of that point.
There's 80 things on the screen right now. That's why.
There it is. Yeah,
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
But then they went away.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, he sent us a letter. It's called Movie Reviews. Spencer was good. Ghostbusters was good. Eternals was good but long. I had to leave before the post-credit stuff to make my showing of Rocky versus Drago.
Oh,
which
yeah.
didn't need to be a thing. King Richard was fine, but didn't need to be in theaters. And Will Smith was wrong for the part. I enjoyed Last Night in Soho more than most, but the ending wasn't the best. Looking forward to Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City. Chris St. Saucy, good night. I don't know Spencer. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to. I'm excited. I'm excited to see the Ghostbusters. Eternals, I did like very much. I don't know what Rocky versus Drago is. King Richard looks cute. And Last Night in Soho, I'm very excited to see. I did not get a chance to see that in the movie theater, but I think it's on streaming for like $20 right now.
What's the order of them? The first one is
Spencer.
No, that's not the first one he mentions, is it?
Yes.
Oh, Spencer. I watched The Crown. I'm good. Ghostbusters Afterlife. The further I'm away from it, the more flawed it is. But it was delightful to watch. What was the next thing? Eternals was great. Also, the further away I am from it, the longer it feels. But still enjoyed seeing it.
King Richard.
Rocky versus King Richard.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. No, Rocky.
It's a-
You're right.
Rocky 4, Rocky versus Drago, the director's cut. I'll
What?
watch it.
Oh.
Yeah, Stallone went
Why?
back and did a whole. Well, because they gave him money to do a director's cut, so he put like another 20 minutes worth of footage and re-edited the whole movie, and it's
Huh.
like a new movie. Yeah,
Was
I'll
there-
watch it.
Was
I
there
enjoy the
like a
Rockies.
problem with Was there a problem with the first cut of the movie?
No, they just had enough footage, and they were like, "Would you like to
Huh.
reassemble a director's cut?" And he was like, "Absolutely."
That's cool. Okay, why not? I haven't seen it since the 80s, but yeah.
It got a limited theatrical release, and it's gonna like probably be on Blu-ray. I'll watch it because the Rocky movies are they go from amazing
Yeah.
to awfully fun,
Alright.
and either way you're winning.
I agree. They did not go the way of the Rambo films. Which
No,
were,
those just became weird
Ugh.
right-wing fantasy, violent fantasies.
yeah.
The more modern ones, or did the older ones
Oh, yeah.
get? I
The
don't
older
remember.
ones too, in hindsight, because like it's
Right.
all about like arming Afghans in Burma. It's great. What were the other movies that he put on there? Oh, King Richard. It's a sports movie. I'll watch it passively at some point. Like it's just an acting
Yeah.
display.
Exercise.
And then
yeah.
Raccoon City. I have absolutely no interest in seeing. It looks like
No.
terrible cutscenes of a video game. I have not enjoyed anything Resident Evil in the last 15 years.
I liked Resident RE1. That was it.
the movie.
Resident Evil 1, the movie I liked.
That was probably over 15 years ago. I think does that stand? How long ago was that? Somebody look it up.
I don't know.
Oh wait,
We can do that here on this show.
if we're doing random reviews, the new Dexter is really enjoyable. Hated the last couple seasons of the series, just like everyone says. They are all right. It was a terrible ending, but the new show is really great. It just picks up 10 years later, and you're there. It's fine.
Sweet.
Nice.
Sweet. Star Trek Discovery premiered last night. It was
Oh
awesome.
shoot!
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna
not
wait
last
for
night,
like
last week. I mean, but yeah.
I'm gonna wait for like 2 or 3 episodes to pile
All
up.
right.
I'm not good with weekly on that show.
All
It's
right.
just great to binge.
From what I've
really
heard,
sad if
this is going to be a more. There's like a season-long story, but it's they're doing more individual episode kind of
Bottle
series.
episodes.
I don't know if it counts as a bottle episode. I'm not exactly sure. That's like with a limited cast too, right?
Yeah, like just when they go to one planet and it's focused on like 4 of the cast members or something like that.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
that's
just
like
a
most
more limited episode, a bottle episode.
Yeah.
That's not that doesn't really work towards the larger overarch of the season. It's just a
I love the show.
Yeah.
However, I was 65% there for Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping, like, it seemed like they gave her a really nice send off, but I'm kind of hoping it doesn't stick and she comes back.
Me too. Well, so they were planning on doing a show with her, and that's why she left.
You have the memory of a goldfish because we talked about this. It was like, oh, they're talking about doing a what is it? The group called Section 31.
Section 31.
A whole Section 31 show focused on her.
Which one
and
are
you were
Are you Brian or the other one?
What?
Which one's talking?
He's a
right
goldfish now. He's a goldfish.
Yeah.
So, we talked about this, and your response to me at the time when I said, "Oh, well, she might end up getting her own show," was,
I remember now.
Yeah, but she's not on the show that I was watching.
Yeah.
And you cried a little. So I'm like,
Yeah. Is she still getting a show now that I've
I don't
remembered it's supposed to happen?
Who knows? I mean,
Maybe.
I haven't heard anything about it in a while, and it was like 2 years ago that they were talking about it. So,
But it's Star Trek. They never leave things alone.
yeah.
Ever.
I was hoping that she would be still in the same area as Discovery,
Hey,
and
she had to
could
go.
be around
She had to go back to her original time
original time
to fix
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So that means she's in the same timeline right now, or
Yeah.
the same area as the new Star Trek show, Brave New Worlds. So
That's
maybe
true.
she's going to be in that shit. You don't
That's
know.
true.
Star Trek
that can
never
happen.
leaves an idea on the table. If anything, they beat good ideas like dead horses amongst 15 shows over the course of 40 years.
Dan H
No,
says
it's true.
if
Like
Tig-
Mirror Universe, let's do it again. Let's do this again. Like they bring back good ideas. So I wouldn't think that she's gone forever.
if Tig is still on, I'm good. Dan H.
She's on. She is
I like Tig
on.
Notaro.
She,
She's great. She was an
she's
interesting
really cool in that.
addition.
Very unexpected
what
too,
are-
because she was just like partway through the second season. You know.
Yeah, just like showed up.
Yeah, I didn't expect her to stick around, and then here she is. It's cool.
Since we're doing what we're watching, what am I watching? Oh, the morning show.
Yeah.
Somehow I gained access to Apple TV. I think it was by buying an Apple TV. And
Probably.
all of a sudden I had access to the morning show with the lady from Friends and the lady
Jennifer
with the chin
Aniston.
from the Alabama.
Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah. And the Office. His name is The Office. What's his name? Steve Carell.
The Office.
His name is The Office.
It's great. It's
Steve
a really
Office.
good show.
Yeah.
So we blew through season 1, and now I'm slowly going through season 2. It's delightful. I love it.
You should.
And-
I know you watched the first season of Ted Lasso, but you should watch the second now too.
Yeah. Oh, it's on my list. I like Ted Lasso a lot. All right. Thank you, Christopher St. Saucy. Good night for forgetting Brian's name. And also that email. Are we ready to talk about this week's books? We probably are because we're going to. Can't Stop, Won't Stop. Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from DC Comics. Written by Tom Taylor with art by John Timms. Burp brought to you by Sam Adams Holiday White Ale. It's citrusy and hazy. Faster than fate, as powerful as hope, able to lift us all. For all his great power, John Kent can't save everyone, but that won't stop him from trying. How much can Earth's new Superman do before this Man of Steel buckles? And when he does, who swoops in to save Superman? All right. First of all, faster than fate, as powerful as hope, able to lift us all. I hate that.
What's the second one? Faster than fate, and what's the
faster than fate, as powerful as hope, able to lift us all. Instead of faster than able to leap
bullet.
tall buildings, faster than a speeding bullet, blah blah. I hate it. That being said, I love everything else about Superman, Son of Kal-El. Almost everything. The art is growing on me. I remember we reviewed the first issue way back when it premiered 5 months ago, and it's not into the art. It does not feel like a top tier Superman art team. But then again, neither does Justice League this week, so that's fine. It's not bad, and it does feel modern for this new modern take on Superman. So I'm enjoying his trials and tribulations. I like everything that's going on in this book. He definitely deals with things that his father didn't deal with or refused to deal with on a larger scale. I'm enjoying that, and I guess that's kind of it. He's been aged up. He's a teenager. He's having his first Wait, someone said that he had a relationship with one of the Legion. Who was that?
Oh yeah,
Saturn Girl.
And now he's starting a relationship in this issue.
Ish, like lots of gooey eyes and good intentions, but he wasn't in the. Well, I mean, it wasn't on the page. It was just in between. Yeah. They fucked hard. It was a whole 6-issue arc. Just core
of that. Yeah,
hard.
Cool.
Core.
It makes sense. It's Brian Michael Bendis. He deconstructs everything.
He does.
The pages stuck together, and I didn't understand why.
Or decompresses. I'm sorry, decompresses. I think this is delightful. I don't usually care about Superman, but this storyline, I'm all and I'm really enjoying it. What did you think? Whoa.
Oh, I thought you were going to go to Brian first.
Surprise!
I caught up on all the issues this week because of the big thing that everyone's talking about in positive and negative ways about his love interest. So spoiler, John is bi.
Yep.
And he shares a kiss with Jay Nakamura, his love interest, who is a reporter for The Truth, which is an online kind of YouTube-ish publication. And it's just a great subplot. And it was done so naturally, and their flirtiness has been in every issue. And there's nothing shoehorned or inorganic about this. It's really, really well done. I love the voice of all these characters. So I know we're talking about the 5th issue, but I think it was the 2nd issue where it got to the whole conversation between Clark and John as to what to do as Superman, or why are you not doing this, or why are you doing this? Which, it's as a teenager or a young adult having a conversation with your parent as another person as opposed to a father figure for the first time is really, really interesting. Like challenging him as ways that a 12-year-old wouldn't or a 10-year-old wouldn't. It's a really great conversation. Clark's answers were really, really great. This is just a really, really well done book, and I don't know, it hooked me. I'll double that on the art. This is John Timms is serviceable. He's got a very cartoony pop style that's really great on teen books and all ages books, but this book, the way it's written, though it's irreverent and very light, it also has it has weight and gravitas in a lot of the themes that they're playing with. And this art doesn't reflect that. This is Teen Titans style art, not a Superman book. And it's like, it does the job like 75, 85% of the time. It's like, I just wish it was a little bit heavier in prestige, I guess, maybe just a slightly different style, like an Ivan Rice kind of style, just a little bit more elevated, right?
I agree.
I will always want Ivan Rice to draw something. Yvonne Reese, yeah.
Yvonne Reese, yeah. I like the art, and I agree with all of those things about it being, like a lighter, younger sort of style, like younger character sort of style. And so even though I like it a lot, it might be working against him seeming like Superman a little, you know what I mean? Yeah. But there's also, of course, what's really doing it is that we all have known Superman to be Clark Kent, his father, for our entire lives. Right. So, I mean, but you're aware of it.
Yeah. I would, you know what, if you took Bruno Redondo from Nightwing and put him on this book, it would be a different, heavier book. Same exact writing and everything, because that book has the same, light style but heavy themes, and just the fact that he skews slightly more photorealistic in his facial expressions makes it more gravitas, whereas Tim's work, or John Tim's work, just doesn't. That's just not his style. I would swap. I wish I could swap a different artist on this to give it a little bit more heft.
Yeah, because that's what's. Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But that's what he is, as Jonathan Kent and in Story and Out are trying to impress upon you that like this is Superman now, and I think a different art style would aid that a lot. I like the conversation with the Flash. I always like that kind of thing, where he's like, "You're the only person that I can talk fast enough to, that can understand me when I talk this fast, and take care of this. I got to go." So that was pretty cool, and I mean, it's a cool story. It's sort of a classic Superman tale of like, I can hear everything. I know all of these things that are happening, and I need to go save them. And I thought it was really effectively delivered. I didn't realize this was their first kiss. In fact, I thought it was. So I missed the last couple of videos. Like I have them, but I just haven't gotten to them. And so I just jumped to this one for the show today. And people have been talking about him being bisexual and being with this guy for like so long, I feel like, that I thought it had already happened. And then so when he's like, "Oh, I gotta go," and it was like, "Oh, it's a little awkward, but there is this whatever's happening." I was like, "Well, what's the big deal?" Right? Like he just of course he's got to go save it, but it being their first kiss, that would be, a little bit of a bigger deal.
Well, I think it went to press or went to print and it got leaked, so they just did an announcement. I think it was around the time that the third issue came out. Yeah, I was going to mention this. Todd Engel left a note, which is really interesting. This is the one of him kissing a guy on the cover. It's not on the cover, but yeah. Well, one of the variants is like them close. Do you think DC is trying to be inclusive or just going for clickbait since it pisses off a certain segment? I have my own thoughts about that. Having read tons of Tom Taylor's work and knowing him as a public figure, I do not think that this is DC trying to be anything or him as a writer trying to be anything other than tell stories. It is not inorganic, nor do I think that they would do anything at this level of professionalism just to own dipshits online. I honestly do not think that that's a thing. It's the other side it's the other side that shoots themselves in the foot to own the libs. Yeah. It's not a corporation that's doing it. They don't give a fuck.
We don't do things to own the other side. We just exist. I do not 100% do not think that they're doing it to piss off a certain segment. That's a weird thing to do. What they are doing is they're being more inclusive. They are very specifically, in the same way that Marvel tried this 5 years ago with all different Marvel. We had a female Wolverine. We had new characters introduced. Right, there was a new Miss Marvel, etc., etc. And the reactionary types had a fucking meltdown. I was tickled. Jane Foster was Thor. I was absolutely tickled. I thought it was a Renaissance. Is that what I say? Like, it was a very exciting time to be a Marvel fan. As someone, I am 43 years old. I am foot and a half in the grave already, and I've been reading comics almost that entire time. So when they do stuff like this, to me, as a longtime fan, I get excited. I'm like, oh, great. I don't have to read the same characters all the time. I am more than happy to share the spotlight with new types of characters that show us new types of perspectives and all that sort of stuff. I get antsy. I'm like, yum, 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 give it to me. So it occurred to me recently that this seems to be DC's time to be doing that sort of all new, all different Marvel Now initiative, where we've got a return to legacy characters, which I absolutely love. One of my favorite things about DC over Marvel for the longest time was their legacy characters like Kyle Rayner and Wally West. And the only difference here, we're going back to that, and the only difference is that we're not just getting more white men, right? We're just getting different perspectives. And I'm super stoked. I'm totally here for it. I don't think they're doing it to piss anybody off. I think they're doing it to make money, because that's how businesses work. And if people weren't buying these books and excited to see these new perspectives, they wouldn't be doing it. So, but I also am fine with that. Like, if I'm glad that it's selling, I'm glad that it's being well received. Go ahead, Noel.
Yeah, no, two things can be true at the same time. So I know a lot of people will be like, well, it's a fucking corporation that's just trying to make money, so how can it be a good thing? Two things can be true at the same time. It is a good thing that editorial and a writer wanted to create characters that are more inclusive. It's also a double bonus that they can market that and gain new readers from it. It's two things can be true at the same time, and they don't negate each other. Capitalism is how good things happen, or is how art is propelled. It's fine. Just let it happen. If you don't like something, don't buy it. And then if enough people don't buy it, it'll go away. That's it.
I also
the reaction.
I agree with everything you guys have said, but I also would not discount the ability for anger to generate sales and notoriety to generate sales, and corporations are not above using that, right? Like, corporations want to make money, and if they thought that doing this would piss off people in such a way that it would cause more people to buy it, they would do it. I don't think that that's this instance, though.
I don't think that it is either. That contingent is not large enough to actually have any kind of sales bump. It's just a very, very vocal, hyper minority.
I also don't think this is that kind of situation where this is not annoying people in that way that they're going to like check it out just to see what's so bad about it or whatever it is, or that the increased notoriety. Now, the increased notoriety might, right? If those people get upset, then people who see things more like the three of us do and might be more willing to check it out because they see people that are behaving like jackasses talking negatively about it. All that being said, I think the creative impulse behind it is just to tell this story, which they think is a good story to tell, both artistically and socially, philosophically.
A great thing in the book too that again, it's a terrible thing that I read all 4 issues in one sitting, but Tink and Airy show up. I think in issue 4.
Who?
They are from Tom Taylor's Suicide Squad run.
Oh, cool.
They are a group of mercenary / eco-terrorists who, tussle with the Suicide Squad. They are, activists. And the fact that they work with this Jay Nakamura character as a part of the truth, it's just a really, really great subplot that's going through a couple of his books that I think is really interesting.
Is he still writing Suicide Squad?
It was just an 11-issue run, just a really quick run. It's a really good. It's a really good story.
Yeah, highly recommend.
I also like the idea.
Anything Tom Taylor does, actually.
Yeah, he's the one that's doing Dark Ages and Dark Knight.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got a Tom Taylor corner.
That's true.
This week.
Oh wait. I think it's a cool idea. Also, that Jay is not somebody that is likely to be in danger.
It's wonderful. He's a metahuman. Yeah.
That was cool. Yeah, he's like, I know there's a whole thing, especially, coming off Lois and Clark, where Lois is constantly in danger and Superman has to constantly worry about it, and he has to worry about his wife versus the rest of humanity. And this character, he becomes tangible.
Yeah.
Nothing can hurt him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that will go.
Mark says the new Suicide Squad has been really good too. Which is, I think she's talking about the current Suicide Squad, not just Tom Taylor's.
The everyone should pick this up and trade. This is a really the 6th issue comes out next month, and then it'll be collected. This is a great series to jump on.
Or every single issue has gone back to print, so you could probably go to your local comic shop. I ordered in a bunch of the reprints. All 5 issues are on the shelves right now.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, I thought they were back ordered. That's awesome. That works too. Jump on it in real time.
But yeah, I like this a lot. This is really good. Also, I like his costume. It's rare that I see a redesign of Superman's costume, and I really like it.
I don't like the belt.
The belt
it's too X-Men-y. I really don't like the belt at all. But I really like the insignia and the cape.
Yeah.
Would you like the belt better if it wasn't just like a nondescript circle and it was another S shield?
It literally looked. Yeah, I mean, sure.
I'd
like it better. I'd like it better if it wasn't that belt. I don't know what the solution is. I just know that I don't like just the giant red circle.
Yeah, it didn't really occur to me, but now that I'm looking at it, it feels like it should have a purpose.
It's not holding anything up, and it doesn't carry anything.
Yeah,
it's just.
He might put his regular clothes in there, Maybe it's kind of.
But he has no secret
Flash's
identity.
Ring.
Yeah, like the Flash's ring. Or Superman used to have a pouch in his cape that he would do that.
John is not in school. He has no secret identity. There is no reason for him to wear anything under anything. Yeah.
However, I did like, what was it, issue 2, where he tried to have a secret identity and it lasted 1 page.
Finn Connors, just gone.
Finn Connors. And I was like, oh, he wears a blonde wig. His name is Finn. This is interesting. Oh, never mind. It's over.
It's terrible. It was terrible on purpose, and I loved it.
Yeah. All right. Let me get too many tabs. Here we go. Remove. Okay, here we go. Next book. Speaking of the Tom Taylor tip, we're going to stay on it with Dark Ages #3 from Marvel Comics this time, with art by Iban Coelho. After the lights go out, strange things lurk within the darkness. The Earth has been plunged into darkness, and Avengers and X-Men have begun vanishing in the night. They have been taken and twisted by Apocalypse to serve an evil order Oh, an evil older than the world. A group of heroes will assemble to travel across the dark planet in a desperate attempt to rescue their friends and save a civilization already on its knees. This is just fine. I'm cutting straight to it. This is just fine. I really love everything that Tom Taylor writes, but for some reason, this specific book does not tickle me. I think it's interesting enough. It just doesn't have the hook. There's something about Tom Taylor's writing. There's always some sort of hook that really reels me in and really keeps me engaged. And the dialogue is usually snappier and more entertaining. This one just is not speaking to me. But it's fine. It's fine. What did you think, Brian?
Well, first, I wonder in the synopsis that an evil older than the world itself. I don't know what that is. Maybe
yes,
Apocalypse.
The first issue.
But,
It's the thing that's existing. Yeah. So all right. So in Dark Ages #1, turns out there was not like in Eternals the movie. There's not
the celestial egg.
Celestial inside the world. There is some other kind of being inside the world that, when it births, will destroy the earth. And so the reason that the world has been plunged into darkness is because of the fallout of stopping that creature from exploding out of the world, out of the earth. So what Apocalypse is trying to do is reactivate that thing that's inside.
Oh, I forgot that part, that Apocalypse was like on the side of that thing. Anyway, I liked it. I agree with you to a degree. Like, I think I'm enjoying it maybe a little bit more than you, but it is not. There's nothing extraordinary going on. It's kind of like a post-apocalyptic story. And the first issue and even the second issue, I was really into. This one felt a little more normal. I don't know. And also it suffered from a character making a very stupid decision, which is not entirely out of character, but like Quicksilver runs in, he sees Magneto, and he's like, well, I gotta try to save him right now. Like, we just like run back, deliver the information that you were there for. The whole group is going. You'll have far better chance of success, you know? Mm-hmm. And also, JD, you were just scrolling through. If you go back, I don't know, a few pages to when they're discussing that page on the left, the bottom left corner, not this page, the one that you were just on. There you go. The bottom left corner there. These two characters, they're talking about whether Tony Stark is alive or not. And they seem, Invisible Woman and the other Mary Jane seem like pretty happy to be pointing out, right? Just like in the art, they're like, we don't even know if he's alive. Yeah.
Just the facial expressions, aren't sort of
right. They're like smirking,
belying what they're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't even know if he's alive.
Yeah, like ha ha ha. We got one on you.
You idiot.
Yeah. Retaining hope. But yeah, but overall, like, it was cool. You know, real bad stuff's got to happen in these stories, and it did. And I was, the last page reveal was pretty cool too. I think what we have learned is that the guy that we weren't sure what was, it's Miles Morales, but I think that's Venom Miles. And Carnage.
Yeah, it's three together, of them inside. Yeah.
So that's cool. It's a cool remix, future apocalypse kind of idea. And I don't know if I'd buy the next issue, but I wouldn't mind reading it if we did it for the show, if we followed the whole thing through. I'm sort of on that fence, you know.
Earth is like a big old egg. Yeah. That's been in like 10 different stories, guys. Yeah, you guys are too used to Tom Taylor that pulls at the heartstrings. This is like digital first Injustice Tom Taylor that was just pure pulp. I'm gonna murder people. It's gonna be just flashy, quick, and enjoyable, and that's what I'm getting out of this. This is like this is reading exactly like that Injustice book that no one was paying attention to until it got really popular. Like, he does crazy weird stuff, kills people, makes it hurt. A little emotional beat here and there, a dumb decision here and there. No one's safe. This is just popcorn. But comparing this to some of the other more current stuff that he's working on, it is the lesser of all. But it's still it's still a higher bar than some of the shit that I'm reading weekly. So I'm enjoying this. Yeah. It's I would not compare this to Nightwing or Superman or the 12 Secrets or 7 Secrets or really just anything else that he's currently writing on a monthly basis, but it's still better than a lot of things, and I'm still kind of enjoying it. This is trash. Yeah. This is trash. This is good trash.
Oh, okay.
We talk about that. Like, I enjoy this as much as I enjoy like Fast and Furious 11. This is trash. It's great.
Are there really 11 of them?
Oh, there will be when they're done. There's up to 9.
When they're done, is that it? Like they're calling their shot?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the 10th one in 2 parts. You know, Harry Potter style.
Yeah, cool.
Is it?
I've never seen any of those or any of the Rocky movies.
Oh wait, are we counting? Are we talking about Rocky and Fast and Furious?
You should watch at least Rocky 1.
I hear it's good.
Are we counting Hobbs and Shaw? Because then it is 12 movies. God damn.
Do you want to count it? I'll count it.
Let's count it. 12 movies.
He's not afraid to count it. He'll count it.
Yeah, I'll count it right now. Yeah. It's right in front of you.
Justice League number 69. Nice. Whoa. DC Comics, written by Brian Michael Bendis and Ram V, with art by Phil Hester and Sumit Kumar. Supervisors of Checkmate poke their sneaky noses where they do not belong, and the Justice League are not happy about it. In fact, most of the league isn't even happy Checkmate exists, setting up Checkmate versus the Justice League. The Super Spies versus the Super Guys. In Justice League Dark, Zatanna is locked in a battle with the greatest sorcerer of all time, Merlin. So earlier in this show, I mentioned artwork not being, in my humble opinion, worth top tier DC books. And I threw a shot at Justice League. Drawn by Fester, who I think the first time I ever saw was drawing the what was his Green Arrow by Green Arrow by Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
I don't like him on Justice League. I'm just gonna say that. This artwork, not only is it kind of strange for the tone of the book, but the layouts are kind of brutal at times, wherein I couldn't figure out where I was supposed to be reading from one panel to the other, which is very frustrating. But also, I don't care. I was really excited when Brian Michael Bendis was coming over to DC. I like Naomi. I like some of the stuff on Superman. But all of this check stuff, boy howdy, I don't give a crap. The big reveal about Checkmate meant nothing to me. It still means nothing to me. Mark, what's his nuts? And I just don't care what's happening with Checkmate and Justice League. Like, some of the dialogue is kind of fun, I guess, but nothing about this really spoke to me. Nothing entertained me all that much. I'm hard pressed to remember any of the scenes particularly well. So, what did you think, Brian?
I absolutely agree about the art. I like this art. I don't like it at all for the Justice League, right? Like, if this was Justice League Dark or Starman or something in that kind of like...
Starman, sure, yeah.
Yeah, right? I'm thinking, of course, like Jack Knight Starman. It just kind of reminds me of
works.
it. Yeah. Something offbeat or occultishly magical or something like that. I think this art works really well for it. Not for the Justice League at all. Like Superman in this page looks, I don't know, like a 1940s boxer or something, like a caricature of that. But and even the one panel a couple of 2 pages later where he gets hit is an interestingly done panel when when I think about it, but it's confusing in the page. That's the one where
it looks like
getting hit is coming out. Yeah, like he's exploding out of his own chest or something like that. Is that what you were thinking?
It looks like he's first of all, I didn't realize it was Superman. Then, upon second inspection, I went, "Oh, that's Superman!"
Right.
And it looks like he's being blasted into atoms. He's like on fire and crumbling away like paper. Yeah. And then the very next page is, "Oh, he's fine."
Yeah, he was just on fire for a second. And I gotta tell you, I've never liked Bendis as much as Ultimate Spider-Man. I think
Yeah. Same.
And it's just Bendised out for me. Like his way of writing, the way that people talk, and the conversational rhythms and that kind of thing. Superman gets hit by the thing. He's like, was it a projectile? He was like, it was a someone, but I didn't get a good look. And it's hard to put your finger on, but it's that particular kind of Michael Bendis writing style that I don't know. I don't think fits every character at every time. Even Kellex the robot kind of talks like that. Like, I can't put it into words. It was stolen. It's like, well, those were pretty descriptive and apparently accurate words with which to put it. But yeah, I don't know. I just think on top of not caring about the story is another issue about, I don't know, checkmate deal. Yeah, it's not what I'm looking for in a Justice League book. It wasn't terrible. Nothing that I'm saying means it was terrible to me, but it wasn't great either.
I have a couple things to say about this.
All right. Did you like it?
Now's your time.
Buckle your seatbelts because we're about to go for a ride. I have been reading all of this, including the checkmate stuff that's happening interspersed between these issues. And they're telling like a one type of story thing. And the only real like overlapping characters are Oliver Queen. This is like a big Oliver Queen super arc that you're only seeing a piece of. This, I hate this art. I have no issues with Phil Hester, but he's done a couple of these issues, and this thematically suffers from the same problem as Superman Son of Kal-El does to me, because the art just is so blocky and colorful, and it does not have any kind of like gravitas or weight to the story that they're attempting to tell in each book. It does not match. It does not fit. The layouts do not help his dialogue pitter-patter at all. The things that you're talking about.
Look at this page that I have up.
Who's talking first and in what order?
Yeah.
The things that you're talking about, his dialogue not functioning, 90% of that problem, other than just his style, 90% of that problem in this book explicitly is the page layouts and the word balloon placement. Yeah. It's not the dialogue of the people. It's the fact that I have to work so hard to make sure that I'm doing the small bits of dialogue in order so it feels natural. It's like, come on. It's like he got Phil Hester to do a subpar impression of Michael Evan Oming, who still would be wrong for this book. So this is probably the low point in this Justice League run thus far.
Let me just take that and flip that. Michael Avon Oming is a bad impression of Phil Hester.
Well, yeah, but Michael Avon Oming is one of Bendis's boys, so it's like he got Hester to do a bad impression of Oming,
his boy,
on Powers,
gotcha.
And it still doesn't work because even if it was Oming, I don't think it would be right for this book, no matter what.
I miss David Marquez,
and a lot of the fill-in artists have not been that bad, like at all. Scott Godlewski was great, which is a name I don't hear often, and Bendis took him and he's doing the Justice League Legion of Superheroes series. So it's like
Steve Pugh
was really good. And then I think I heard one of the fill-in artists for this is going to be Simon Kudransky.
Oh no!
Which might be a reason to drop the book. Hang on, it might be a reason to drop the book, but I'm probably not going to, because I was on the fence of dropping this book for so long because I skip with a passion the Justice League Dark sections.
Yeah,
I tried reading them. I hate them. I
just close the book before it even happens and you whip it.
Well, the first couple issues, like, oh, I'm paying an extra $1 for this story, so let me try and read it. I hate every single second of it. I don't, and I just skip it. And I don't know what's happening, but they're getting rid of it. and Bendis is going to write the whole book now. So I'm like, oh, I'll stay on because I prefer just to have one story and not this extra one that I don't care about at all. But then, Kodransky's going to do some of the art, and I'm like, oh, you got me, and then you pull it away, and then you got me.
Is that who this art is here?
No.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I like that art.
He did some, he did like an arc or two of Action Comics when Bendis was on it, and the story was great, but the art was just so weird. It was like think Mike Deodato, but clay.
Dan H says, I love Justice League Dark. Ram V is great.
A lot of people really like it. I am not enjoying it at all. Yeah.
I just haven't read them. I have fallen behind on the Justice League proper, and as goes the Justice League Dark for sure.
Yeah. Every single time they relaunch Justice League Dark and get a new creative team on it, I sample it, and every single time I cannot bring myself to care. I read the JMD Mateus stuff, didn't like it. I read the Tinian stuff, didn't like it. I read some of the Pete Milligan stuff, didn't like it. And I read some of the Ram V stuff, and I didn't like it. So it's never going to work for me. It's just never going to work.
The only thing I don't like about them is the name.
They're not a Justice League. Yeah.
Yeah, like they just didn't call themselves that. Then if there was a book called Shadow Pact, like, I mean, not that I'm not buying it just because of the title.
But, that's when I liked it. I liked Villains Unite. I liked the only time I've ever liked Justice League Dark was the 6-issue lead into Infinite Crisis.
That was
almost 20
years
ago.
Good miniseries.
Right?
Acts of Vengeance. Yeah.
Acts of Vengeance. That was one.
Yeah, that was really good.
For all intents and purposes, I would assume Justice League Dark would be right up my alley. And every time I'm just like, oh, here we go. New number 1. Nope. Wait, shit, I don't care. Well, let's move on to Spider-Woman from Marvel Comics. Number 17 from Marvel Comics. Written by Carla Pacheco with art by Pere Perez. Lights, camera, action.
But
Jess is still recovering from the epic showdown with her brother Aeternum. She decides to visit her friend stuntwoman Lindsay McCabe on set. But wait, those assassins aren't in the movie.
What?
And they're after Lindsay. An all-new, all-action Spider-Woman arc starts here. It did. It started here. It's true. I have not read an issue of Spider-Woman since probably number 2 or 3 of this series.
The one that we read for the show.
For the show?
Yeah.
But I liked it, right? I was like, oh, this is fun. I'm enjoying this. I'll probably stick with it. I didn't stick with it. I don't stick with anything ever because I just don't have time. I do have a baby, but I don't have time. And I was kind of excited to try this out. I was like, ooh, it's a nice in-between. I wasn't sure. It was either an in-between issue or the start of a new arc. Either way, I was excited to try it out. And she's back in that nonsensical costume, which is cool. It's a cool looking costume. It means nothing to me because it does design-wise, it has nothing to do with spiders, and has frustrated me since the 70s.
I think it does. I always thought it was supposed to mimic like a particular kind of spider patterning or something like that.
What spider?
But it is, I don't know, some spider.
Cool.
Yeah.
I actually thought this was really fun. So Spider-Woman, Jess, has a son, and she's trying to balance her work and home life. And she's got friends. She just feels like a well-worn character who has a history. And I don't know who this friend is, but I like her. I like that she is a stunt woman for movies, and that we spend the entire issue basically on set dealing with Hollywood and stunts and all sorts of stuff that I find incredibly interesting. So I actually thought it didn't blow me away, but I enjoyed it. What did you think? No.
Like a C plus, a B minus. It was just nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was nice.
I didn't it wasn't a slog to read because I also have not read any of this series other than what we had the first like 2 issues that we read for the show. So that was a good 14 issues ago.
Yep.
And this I have just gone back and started reading Black Cat by Jed McKay.
Oh yeah.
Which is this style of book. It's just like her life and random adventures and stuff, but it's done a lot better. So I think that was a detriment to how much I liked this, because I was reading this and I was just like, oh, this is cute. Black Cat does it better, but this is cute. But Black Cat does it a little bit better, but this is cute. I like this is nice. Like if somebody told me it's one of their favorite books, I'd be like, makes sense. That's cool. Yeah. I think yeah. If you like this, you totally like Black Cat. There's another book that's kind of like this. Kelly Thompson's Captain Marvel. Every time I dip in, it's delightful. It's nice, but I never seem to like it enough to just keep reading it.
Sure.
And this is kind of like that. They're just really well done books. And I'm sure, later on down the road, not unlike with Black Cat, I'll probably just like mainline a handful of issues and be like, I get it. This is great. Yeah. But these side characters are more entertaining than half the shit I read this week in general. Mm-hmm. Like the stunt woman and like, it's just really well done.
Yeah.
The art's really good too. And
yeah,
just overall, it's really good. The layout of the fight scene in front of the green screen, this one is very cool. It's also cool that, Jessica Drew's friend is the stunt woman, and the lead actress is also in the story. And so those two characters have to look similar to each other without looking exactly the same as each other. And it's handled very well. Like he pulls it off. You can tell the difference between the two of them, even though in continuity they're supposed to be pretty similar looking people. I did not care for the Spider-Woman issues that we read before. Part of that was the art, and part of it was just some of the nonsensical stuff that happened. Like she changes her costume.
It was the same artist.
Was it the same artist? I didn't like that one. I liked. Yeah. I remember that being an issue. Maybe I'm misremembering it, and I did like it. Or who knows? But yeah.
Why is she in this costume?
I guess at some point she went back to... Because you remember the one that she had in the issues that we read? She was like, I don't want to associate this with Spider-Woman, so I'll wear a different spider-themed costume.
But it was still a weird leotard, but it was just like... was more black than red,
and it had like webs on it, and then I guess at some point she went back to. I mean, I haven't read anything.
You know what? It was basically her alt Facebook profile costume.
It was her sock account.
She's got her Facebook account that she uses for the majority of her things, but then she's got one that she doesn't want her bosses to see, right? So then she's got that alternate one that she doesn't friend her boss on, and then that's what that costume was.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, it was fine. It was an okay little dive into what Spider-Woman's up to for a little bit.
Who's this woman on the cover?
Yeah, I don't know. Someone else, I guess.
Redhead?
The stunt girl with the blonde wig. That's her.
Yeah. She's a redhead but wearing a blonde wig.
Yeah, because she's a stunt double for the actress.
I didn't know that. There's nothing in here that I saw that said she was wearing a wig.
She does make mention of it.
Yeah.
She's like, if you think that smells bad, wait till you get to over here. This smells even worse. I recognize her name, but that's about it.
She might be an old school character that just doesn't get used
I think so.
I wonder if she's like along the lines of like Hellcat, just like one of those characters who's been around forever.
Yeah. And the movie star presumably wanting to try to join the Avengers is an interesting subplot that they're setting up.
I thought she just wanted to get them to like show up at a premiere or some shit.
Yeah, maybe.
I didn't.
No, because she's talking about how like she trained fighting with Keanu Reeves guys, and I think she thinks that that's like all it takes to.
I didn't read that at all. I took it as like I'm so good at this acting thing, and I'm good at my own stunts because I train with the Keanu's guys. Hey, can you get the Avengers to go to advertise for me? Or can you put me in a room with them for cameras? I thought there were two separate things.
All right, so Lindsay McCabe, her first appearance was 1979, Spider-Woman number 14. Her nickname is Winsy. Grew up in Long Island, acting career, bartender, blah, 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 B-movie actress. So, yeah, she's been around since the beginning.
Since the beginning. But she's never been like a crime fighter participant in that. She's always like a supporting character. Because it seems kind of like she would be, right? Like, all right.
Yeah. No, it looks like so far she's just been a friend.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think she was ever like a costume hero.
Okay.
But, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I thought this was fun. And every time I read one of these, I'm like, oh, I'm going to stick with this. Especially since longtime friend of the show, Pink Apocalypse, actually loves this book, loves Spider-Woman.
Oh, great.
And yeah. Black Cat by Jeb McKay is so good, says Mars Comics.
Excellent. Down
in the chat.
They are correct.
I was surprised. Like when Black Cat got her own series, I was like, oh, here we go. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to care. I'm a big Spider-Man fan, and she's a Spider-Man sort of, side character, I guess. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to care about this. And I was like, oh, shit, this is really good. And even her tie-in with King in Black was awesome.
Yeah, that was the best King in Black tie-in that I read.
Oh, no. For me, that was the Immortal Hulk tie-in.
That one was great.
Oh, no, that was great. Yeah. That single issue.
It had no text. Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's my favorite.
Hey, here's the promo block. In addition to liking and subscribing on YouTube, please like and follow us on Facebook. We stream there as well. Facebook.com/CultPop podcast. Become a patron to help keep us going. You can go to Patreon.com/JohnnyDestructo and you can give us your hard-earned dollars. If you can't give us your hard-earned dollar or even your barely earned dollars.
Right. What if they came easy to these people?
Yeah. If you just got money lying around and you didn't even have to earn it, all the better. Right. But if you don't have any of that, you can just hang out with us on Mondays at 9:00. And really, that's the reason we're here, is to hang out with you guys and talk about comics. So hopefully you'll be with us till the very end.
Yes.
Let's talk about Refrigerator Full of Heads.
Wait, JD, can I also mention?
I'm sorry. Yes,
that's quite all right. I was going to drop the link into the chat, but I just realized for the first time that I don't have the ability to comment because I'm not logged in as anything. But maybe next week I can get for you. So my girlfriend's brother put together a video game called Burn Me Alive and Burn Me Alive 2. And
grotesque.
Yeah. And I just set up a Kickstarter for them because he needed my help to do that. So I set up a Kickstarter. They're working out of Armenia. And the Burn Me Alive 1 is available on Steam now. It's the first 2 chapters of this game. It's like $9.99. And then the Kickstarter, they're hoping to raise funds to be able to fully produce Burn Me Alive 2. And it looks like a pretty cool game that they've got going on. They've spent all of their savings on the first one. And so they'd really appreciate any help, either checking out the original, reviewing it, or if you feel so inclined and you want to see more of that, go on the Kickstarter and help them get it funded.
I wish I had time. I'm a big horror video game fan, and I would love to sit and do literally anything, but I can't.
I'll send you the Kickstarter just so you can see, there's images included.
Oh, great, yeah.
I want to see
like images.
What you think about it. Yeah, there are pictures.
Awesome.
There's even a video, a series of images producing the illusion of motion.
like some sort of motion, like a motion picture? Like a picture?
Like a moving photo.
See it until I believe. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah,
I would expect nothing less.
I refuse to believe it. It's all fake news.
These moving pictures.
listen, guys.
What is it?
DC Comics put out a book this week called Refrigerator Full of Heads #2. It was written by Rio Yorse with art by Tom Fowler. It took Cal and Arlene one day on Brody Island to piss off a homicidal biker gang and to find the magical axe so memorably wielded by June Branch 1 year ago. But what else have Cal and Arlene come to Brody to do? And now that you mention it, where is June Branch? So for anyone who doesn't know, this is a sequel series of a beloved to me and Noel series called Basket Full of Heads by Joe Hill.
Where'd he go?
I'm not gonna fill this space. He's just gonna. Can you get a smaller bottle of water?
Well, I'll tell you, no. I left my regular bottle of water, bottle.
For those listening, Brian just picked up an entire 2-gallon jug of water.
101.4 fluid ounce jug of water.
I don't have a copy of it, but Basket Full of Heads was the book written by Joe Hill, one of my favorite horror writers. And this is the sequel to it, Refrigerator Full of Heads, delightfully titled, if I may. And it picks up the summer after the previous adventure happened. That Basket Full of Heads was basically a home invasion movie / whodunit / ancient axe with mystical powers that when you chopped off someone's head, the head stayed alive and kept talking. It felt very much like a Tales from the Crypt episode from HBO in the 90s. And that is my reason to be. So, this is not written by Joe Hill. I was initially disappointed to find out. But then after reading this issue, I went, well, never mind. This is I wouldn't, if I didn't know it wasn't a Joe Hill book, I still wouldn't know. That doesn't make sense, but you get it. What did you think of this issue? No.
Well, sometimes. Well, JD.
When a man loves a woman. Yeah.
Sometimes you expect something and you get exactly what you expected.
Yes.
This is just more of the same escalated.
I thought you were going to twist it. Like this wasn't that.
No, this would the whole from jump, this has been incredibly preposterous. Magical axes and daggers, and whatever they kill doesn't actually, it reanimates them and it's not like zombie heads. They are fully sentient. It's the same person talking to you, reanimated. Well,
not reanimated, just never unanimated.
Continuing to be animated. This is like a 1980s horror sequel. So it's maintained the same tone, but it's amped up the violence and it's amped up the preposterousness of what's going on. So by the second issue of the first series, it was still a bit of a thriller and a little bit of a locked door mystery and it was still supernatural. This is just straight sequel horror gore, like a slasher, like crazy horror movie. Like there's already been a dozen heads that have been chopped off and a shark that's chomping around and they bring.
I'm sorry, a shark head.
A shark head chomping around.
It's not a full shark. It's just the head.
In like slasher movie franchise way, they inorganically almost kind of like shoehorn the characters from the first movie in.
Yeah.
And it honestly probably, if this was real, would have been recast by a different blonde actress. It wouldn't even be the same actress.
I disagree with a little bit of that. That I don't feel like any of the previous characters feel shoehorned in. This actually feels to me like a direct continuation of what happened last year.
Bringing in June felt like an excuse, a narrative excuse to bring in June. That's what I mean. Like,
really,
this was, but as a part of the charm of this, of the idiocy of this, like they have a very specific tone, which is that mid to late 80s specific horror genre slasher kind of Tales from the Crypt. and they're just steering full bore into it.
Yeah.
And to me, that also includes like, you know, recasting Alice in Nightmare on Elm Street 5, because whatever, it's her by name. Like, you just kind of bring her in, you know.
Yeah.
I love this. This was awesome. This continues to be awesome. Tom Fowler's art is awesome.
Very expressive artwork.
Yeah.
Very kinetic. Very expressive. Lovely. I had mentioned it before. It feels almost like Mad Magazine type caricatures at some times, but it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it works very well for this kind of story.
Yeah.
You know.
Other than, you know, I can see why you're saying it looks like she was recast by a different actress, because I didn't realize who that was when we first met her until they mentioned that she was the girl from last. I was like, oh, that's her.
I want it to be recasted with a different actress. I want this to be like, you know, Fright Night 2 with a completely different Charlie Brewster. Like, that's fine. This is part of the amazing charm of escalation in a sequel, right?
What do you think, Brian? Did you read it?
I did read it, and I thought about it. Yeah, I liked it. It was enjoyable. It was just as enjoyable as the first issue, having come in with like no idea what's happening. There's a little Norse stuff in there, mythology stuff. That's cool. And so when they mentioned the names, I'm like, hey, I know that guy. So let me ask you guys, whose take on what June's experience is correct? Like, she was defending herself against these home invaders, or is she like also? So she's not responsible for anything.
She was defending herself against the home invaders, but things escalated in that story to the point where she was also.
She killed a bunch of people.
She did kill some people.
Yeah.
Like 2 of them by accident, one of them in defense, and then one of them she just straight up killed because they were the bad guy at the end.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You know, originally she was defending herself, and then she was trying to get to her boyfriend who they were after and had taken him away. So she was trying to get to save him, and then you know, of course, the things escalate from there.
I think
originally she was just what?
There was one accidental one too, I think.
It happens.
Like the guy in the car, or that got creepy, and she accidentally. There was one accidental, and that became like an ongoing joke where he just stayed in the basket with her for half of the book.
Oh, is she the one with the basket? Like she was the main character of the previous thing? Okay.
June Branch, yeah.
Okay. It's a good name for a main character of a story like this.
And she's a final girl.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
I just finished reading Grady Hendrix's horror novel, The Final Girl Support Group. So
is that
Final Girls on the Brain.
One girl that survives the movie?
Yes. In Nightmare on Elm Street, it's Nancy Thompson, so on and so forth with Friday the 13th and all of those 80s slasher films. They are lovingly referred to as the Final Girl.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun. And I agree with you, JD, about the art, the Mad Magazine style art, but it's cool. I thought, the art's very expressive and it works. The title for the next issue is funny. Nothing is certain except death and axes.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. I thought it said taxes because I'm just used to death and taxes.
Yeah.
Death and axes. That's cute.
Yeah. And, it caused me to think, if 2 guys showed up and they're like, we're with the FBI, you need to come with us, I wouldn't know exactly how to respond. You know what I mean?
No,
like, you don't want to turn down the FBI if they want you to go with them.
I think that they're part of the biker group, right?
There's somebody bad. I don't know exactly.
Because the biker group has tons of details about the weapon, and you're like,
that's true.
Why the fuck? Also, you still don't know why Blonde Homie was taking down license plate numbers.
I know,
it was
right?
a little aggressive.
Yeah, I'm still curious about those 2 protagonists.
We don't know who our protagonists, what team they're on, or where they're coming from, and why they know what they know. The bikers thought, we thought they were just, stereotypical bikers, but then all of a sudden they recognize the weapon and are after it, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? It's a weird it's got a little bit of a mad world kind of vibe to it too. Everyone after this shit.
Yeah.
And I do want to eat my words from last review, wherein I was a little disappointed that there was not this chapter break escalation illustration that was going on in Basket Full of Heads. Here it is, and it looks like the refrigerator is going to be slowly filling up with heads.
The shark tooth on the bottom there, and
Oh yeah.
You got Yazadril, the axe or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And worms. It looks like it says worms.
Sure. Well, they're fishing
it's
as well.
bait.
Yeah.
Of course. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm tickled.
What happens if you cut up one of the heads with the axe? Does that release them? Is there any way for these people to get out of being?
Not that we know yet,
heads?
because even when they showed, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say when she was holding the one guy's head, up to the chomping shark head.
Yeah.
I feel like if your head was chomped by a shark into tiny little pieces, you'd be dead, right?
Like that's it, unless you're just like still aware.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all chopped up. Yeah.
There's no real indication as to what or how, because even when they showed the first issue finding the axe, there was still like a decayed head that was still awake from the first
at
book.
The bottom of the river. Yeah.
So that animated head, that alive head, was just decaying slowly awake.
So I guess eventually
at the bottom of the river for a year.
I'm curious about what, now that they're bringing in, they've mentioned a bunch of other weapons that are, in some way of the same cloth as this axe, but do different things. Like, I'm kind of curious as to if there will be any sort of thesis of these mystical weapons and what their deal is.
What happened in the first issue? Didn't he slit someone's throat and their eyes were just stayed open?
Yeah, it did something. It like paralyzed.
They got taken away,
or something like that.
Yeah, so like they implied in the art that person is still aware.
Yeah. I got the sense that it does something related but different, than the axe does.
The one thing I do want to call bullshit on,
all right,
is this scene with the head, the guy who has been recently debodied, and he finds a way to roll around.
Yeah,
even though he's just a head.
Power to roll his head around. Yeah.
How is he rolling up hills?
Yeah.
Like he literally is at the bottom in the beach, and he rolls up a grassy knoll to the end of the.
He's grabbing grass and just like, I don't know.
No, but you still have to have a head in order to get purchase, in order to wing yourself anywhere, right? You have to have your neck attached to a body in order to have.
Yeah.
I realize it's stupid, but
what if you don't get decapitated? What if you're cut through the middle?
Oh, then that would. You got an arm then. Yeah, like it. The axe slices the line of demarcation as to what stays animated.
Oh, so it says it's not just hands. Like it doesn't have.
I think didn't somebody in the first one get cut in a way where it was like, hang on,
pretty gross, like through his shoulder. But I think that wound up killing him.
Yeah, but he was like.
So if you cut off like 1 foot, you could just kind of be immortal, but without 1 foot.
Yeah.
It's a spoiler, so I won't show it.
Yeah, wait a minute, that's true.
Hang on, it's a spoiler, so I won't show it. But someone does get in the first one gets chopped from shoulder down across their midsection, and the head part and the one arm is still animated while the rest of the body is inert.
Yeah, I guess whatever part is attached to the. Like if you use that. If you use that axe to just chop off your pinky toe, you're still immortal.
Right.
Right?
Well, 1 pinky toe. It's a pretty Norse God thing to happen.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. Nice catch.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. Wonder Woman Evolution #1 from DC Comics, written by Stephanie Phillips with art by Mike Hawthorne. Whisked away from Earth by a distant cosmic entity, Wonder Woman is forced to navigate a series of perilous challenges that push her to the brink, both mentally and physically. At stake is the fate of all humanity, with the alien entities casting Diana as Earth's proxy for a trial, judging humankind's worthiness to exist in the universe. Can Diana stand trial to save humanity without losing her own? I don't care.
What a weird thing for them to put in the solicit.
Yeah, it's strange, right? Every time a new Wonder Woman book happens, I go, ooh, I'm going to try this out. This will be the Wonder Woman. This will be the one that gets me. I have enjoyed the Mariko Tamaki run. I thought that was cool. I really liked the one by Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chang.
Yeah.
Other than that,
have you tried this one? This like most recent, the
Wonder
main
Woman
Wonder
Evolution
Woman?
#1.
No, yeah. Did you read the book that we're about
I
to
did
talk
read
about?
this one. Yeah.
No, the one, her series, like her where she's kind of
by
been
Becky
lost
Cloonan.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
yeah, it didn't look interesting to me, so I didn't even bother.
Yeah, it's really good, but I'm not sure it's up your alley.
And the artwork doesn't really speak.
All right.
It's a shame because I love Becky Cloonan's artwork. Yeah, this I don't like this artwork.
Oh no!
I wasn't sure if this was supposed to be modern Wonder Woman. Looking at this cover, I thought it was the evolution of Wonder Woman, like maybe her far in the future. But turns out, I guess it's current day, and all of the artwork is very stilted and static. I don't find any of this interesting. Nothing seems kind of original or particularly engaging to me. Not even this kind of cute conversation with Superman in the beginning and rotten eggs, and at the end she gets whisked away to who knows where. The only reason we know any of this is because of the solicitation I just read from DC Comics.
Okay.
I just didn't care at all. But I could have not read this and been just as fine. What did you guys think, Brian?
Yeah, the art is not great. And it gets better than it is on the first page, but that opening page of her, and like I'm 99% sure it's her, but she's in a different costume. Like the close-up of her face, it just kind of sets the tone. And it's not great. It is, like you said, just, there's a number of different things that happen, nothing of which is that new or interesting to me. And it's also that conversation with Superman, whereas I liked most of it, it reminds me of the kind of thing that happens when something happens in a comic that you don't think makes any sense, but it got written into that comic. So it's like, well, this is how it happened in this story, but in an ongoing multi-writer, decades-long kind of character portrayal of these characters, maybe sometimes writers just put something in that's wrong. And for me, they're standing up there on Everest, and the man who goes out in space and hangs out there would like a jacket.
Get out of here.
What are you talking about? Right.
Yeah.
Are you
two
chilly?
things in one scene. He's chilly. He wishes he had a coat. He's all brr. And then they're talking about how there was a time where they were both up here together and we thought we were alone. And turns out there were people up here just out of view. And those people climbing Mount Everest snuck up on Superman. Huffing and puffing their way up a goddamn mountain that's covered in snow with a bunch of tools and shit. Whoa, where'd you guys come from? What?
Yeah,
I forgot it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean that was that point was like I don't buy it. I don't buy Superman needs a jacket on the top of Everest. When have you ever seen him wearing a jacket in any scenario? So like I said, the art on especially Wonder Woman's face, but I was gonna say maybe the faces in general, but I think it really is just hers. Is not great. Although I do like the costume choices that they've done with her. Wonder Woman's costume is a little more malleable than some of the other, major characters. And so there's a little more kind of different takes on it in different books. And I think this is a pretty good one. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, I was not into it.
So the inciting incident of this entire story happens in the last panel of this book, which tells me that I wasted my time.
Yeah.
That's it. Whether it was enjoyable or not, more so not than was, almost is irrelevant because you wasted 22 pages of story economy to get to the inciting incident at the end and give me absolutely no kind of real hook. Had I not read the solicitation, I'd be like, are there pages missing? What did I read this inert action scene and 3 middling conversations for?
Yeah.
Like, why?
I'm guessing they'll set up, because it's all about this trial, and the thing in the beginning, they talk about evolution and whether humanity is worthy. There was a lot of talk about this woman who used to look up to Wonder Woman and has now turned bad, but Diana still thinks that she can be saved, and the little girl looks up to her. I bet a lot of the story will revolve around, like, that is the thing that she proves in this trial. But
sweet.
Yeah. Right.
The metaphor sounds great.
Yeah.
In regards to like this story, though, I mean, well, then that's just an issue with story economy. Then, like, if you need to set up a metaphor in order to make your inciting incident and or conflict resound or not resound, resonate. Thank you.
Okay.
It's late. Resonate, then you do it as efficiently as possible, not for prolonged scenes over the course of 22 pages, and then
apparently
then you start your story.
Each other.
Very unconnected to each other. This I struggled with this issue. I didn't like it at all. Yeah.
I've got
that's
5 stars. Rita Gren. Yeah.
What do you have there?
Like,
50 grams? What is that?
This was like
sweet.
This was like 2. Oh, was this a digital first?
I would buy it. I would believe it. I would not buy it.
You would buy that idea
because it reads like 3 separate scenes that may have been digital first.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see like the whole thing with Silver Siren being an issue, and then
all the stuff with Superman being its own issue.
Yeah, definitely.
So pick it up. Everyone should give it a shot.
Let us know what happens.
Above all else that we read this entire week, grab this. Get 2 copies. Give one to your friends.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to talk about before we get the hell out of here?
We can quickly talk about the first issue or the first episode of Cowboy Bebop if you want to.
Cowboy Bebop. Let's talk about Cowboy Bebop. So, I am not a super fan of the original Cowboy Bebop. I know it is beloved, and I think it's very good. It's very, very good. But I never finished the entire series, and kind of sometimes I fall asleep while watching it. But it's not to say it's bad. I'm also not huge into anime. So that being said, I saw the trailer for this, and I was like, oh man, that looks like a lot of fun. I really like what I've seen of this, and it does feel like the Cowboy Bebop that I have experienced. Maybe the 4 or 5 episodes that I've watched so far, and I was very excited for it. I think it looks very, very cool, and it seemed to feel like Cowboy Bebop. But then, before I had a chance to sit and watch it, I was all over TikTok. Are people complaining about it and showing you little clips and everything? And so I was like, oh no, it doesn't seem to be getting. It's not received well. But then I watched the first episode, and I was tickled.
You received it well?
I received it well.
Excellent.
It's the same first episode as it is in the anime. They've just made a live action version of it.
Cool.
And I think there are some stunts that are a little stilted. There's a scene where he's like sliding down a table, and it just feels very much like he's just on a wire thing being pulled down a table and not just actually sliding. It feels like more like very set up as opposed to kinetic. But other than that, I think the dialogue's fun. I think the actors are all having a blast. I think the cameraman's having a blast. It feels like everybody involved with this production is having fun bringing this show to life.
The key grip, would you say?
The key grip is he's killing it.
Hates his job. I know the key grip. We're good friends.
Oh,
we talk all the
sucks.
time. He is the only person on set that is not having a good time. Only person.
You're thinking of the best boy, not the key grip.
Well, the key grip hates it. Best boy's a big fan. Loves the
He's
craft
into
services.
it. Okay. Okay.
So my take on it is the way this has been translated from one medium to another feels.
Oh, I think you're going to say something, and I actually can you hold it? Are you going to bring up the Frank Miller thing?
Yes,
because that'll segue into my experience because it was your thought that made my experience change. So hold it.
Okay.
What is he?
No, seriously, this will work. This will totally work. Narratively, this will work. Okay. I'm holding it. Unlike JD's experience, I have actually watched the entire anime. I've seen 2 animes to their completion in my entire life, 2 series. One of them is Cowboy Bebop. So
is the other one Bondage Fairies?
Yeah. All seasons. So I'm a very big fan. Soundtracks, the whole 9. I love Cowboy Bebop. I think it's a masterpiece. Oh. I saw all of the casting. I was a big fan of the idea. I'm a big fan of. I am not precious about remakes. Remake everything. Just make it good. I don't care. Do anything. Well, it doesn't matter. So I was very excited about this. I put the first episode on like a giddy schoolgirl. I even my wife doesn't give a shit. She just sat there and let me have this. I was taken aback. It was like a math problem where all of the numbers are correctly there, but it just didn't come to the right conclusion, and it felt uncanny for me. And I was trying to, but I enjoyed it, but it felt weird. But I enjoyed it, but it felt weird. So I was trying to explain that to JD, and then we put the episode on in the shop, and he said something that just clicked for me, and I realized why I didn't like it and why now I really do like it because it makes sense. And he said, it's just like Sin City.
Yeah.
It is literally a motion adaptation of a different thing, and they slavishly kind of try and recreate it, good and bad, just like they did with Sin City, where the hyper aspects of it were, laid bare and kind of recreated in the hyper way that they were, and you either bought into that stylistic choice or you didn't. And as soon as he said that, it just kind of clicked, and I was like, oh yeah, they're just swerving into the style choices of the cartoon, and it's not supposed to be a realistic. It's not supposed to, it is supposed to be a cover song. And as soon as that happened, I was just like, yeah, no, this is good. I like this a lot. I'm very excited to finish it.
Great.
Yeah.
So that was my take. And I don't know why I thought of that. It was just as soon as I watched the first beginning, the cold open, I guess. And I was just like, oh, this just feels like Sin City to me. The way they slavishly brought the panels to screen almost at the detriment of making a good movie. But I think this is a blast, man. I know it's getting shit on online, but everything does. So I can't really take that. I take that with a grain of salt. But I think this is a lot of fun. And it just seems like everyone involved is excited about it and having fun. And I think that really comes through.
As much as I really like that they're doing it this way for the first season, I do want them, if they continue this for multiple seasons, find your own voice. Yeah. Play around. It's like if season 1 is learning the recipe and mastering it, make season 2 and 3 you just winging it in the kitchen because you're a good chef now. I don't need it to be a slavish recreation anymore. But as a starter, that's pretty cool. I liked it.
There's not that much of the original Cowboy Bebop, right?
26 episodes.
Okay.
And not to spoil anything, but from what I understand, this first live action series, which is only 10 episodes, goes a little farther, but stays in that range for the anime. Okay. Where some things that don't happen, that happen halfway through kind of happen here, but then other things that don't happen until episode 10, 11, 12 don't happen in this first season. So they're kind of playing around a little bit, but I could totally see this going for like 3 or 4 seasons if they wanted to.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Because there's also the original series is 26 episodes, but there's also a movie that takes place between the 23rd and 24th episode.
No shit.
It's like an extended.
That's cool.
Yeah, because the end of the show is a final end. It's a finite ending.
Oh,
okay. And it's like a 3-episode arc, 24, 25, 26. And the movie takes place like between 23 and 24. It's just
was
like
it released
extended episode
in between those two, or was that like later they went back and
it was after the fact in theaters like a year or 2 later.
Oh, okay. Is that John Cho? Is he the main character?
Yeah.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
like
I think it's real cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Kevin
really
is down in the comments. He's saying, "I finished Bebop last night. I am also a super fan. I really like the visual style of it."
That's good.
So, it took me. I just needed to be warmed up to it. That first sequence with the, we've seen hulls break and the vacuum of space in 1,000 different movies and TV shows from like right now, or since. The way that they depicted it with like very stiff wires and stuff, was a fucking choice, and I'm not sure I liked it, but it was totally kind of in tone with what they were trying to accomplish. And I don't like when you said when he like slides across the table and it's just like pose, slide.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's a choice, and I get it. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't help, but it's just like I have to. It's like listening to jazz. You just kind of have to like click into it and then just go with it. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm excited to finish the rest of it. I'm also excited to finish the rest of the original series.
I mean, probably not till your baby sleeps, so you won't fall asleep when you try and watch it.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is I always watch things too late, and then I fall asleep. I get sleepy. All right, guys, that's it. Speaking of getting late, I got orders to do. Then I got to go try and get some other t-shirts printed while my kid's upstairs sleeping. That's it. You can email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com if you want us to read it on air, or you could just come and just type them into the comment section. Yeah, type them in like that, like spider fingers. And we will see.
Don't forget that down there. That's Brian, Brian Lieb.
Yeah.
Brian Lieb.
Yeah,
That's his name.
Thank you.
Great show, guys. Thanks, says
He's
Mars.
the second best guest. Yeah.
Great comments, Mars.
When
Thanks.
Len was around.
He's the second best. Yeah.
All right. We will see you here next Monday, 9 p.m. Toodaloo. We will talk at you later.